Hello everybody. Welcome back to another session on Python programming. We're discussing selection constructs in Python. We're seeing single alternative, we're seeing multiple alternative or dual alternative. Today's time for us to wind up with this particular topic. I had given one small assignment last time. Looks like only Viraj has solved it. What about others? All those who have solved that, please share the assignment. If you have solved it, please share. So the question was about finding the largest among the two numbers. Let's see what Viraj has done. And then accordingly, we'll also look at the solutions that others have implemented. I request all of you to start with your cameras. Let me not tell you every day. So let us see what has Viraj done and how has he made an attempt to solve that particular assignment. So let's check his solution. So what does he say? He says input says, he accepts the first integer, he accepts the second integer, and then he check if not data or digit, so he'll generate an error. Very good, not data. Viraj, what he could do is, if the first number itself was entered wrong, why should we waste time accepting the second number? So this input statement, I would rather write over here. How about this? So if the first input is wrong, is there a point in accepting the second input and then telling the first input is wrong?
No, sir.
Is that okay, Viraj? Have you understood?
Yes, sir.
So I'll first check for this. If it is right, only then I'll accept the second input. And then he's converting both the numbers to integers. And then if the first number is greater than second, the first number is larger than second number, or the second number is larger than the first number entered. That's okay. You could just print what the number is. Because we haven't asked to check the largest number. So which number is largest? That was more important. So you could have just said largest number is, and you could print the, suppose your first number, that's your largest. And here you could say largest number is your second number, that is largest. And I don't see any immediate scope of improvement based on what we have learned till now. Actually, there is an improvement that we can bring about, but we haven't yet discussed those aspects. Second. So that's how you could have done it. Let's start with ideally and check whether his solution is working correct. So I say ideally. I start with ideally. And let's open up his file. That's the file. Let's run this particular program. It says, please enter the first integer. I enter 12. Enter the second integer. I enter 34. The largest is 34. Very great. We run the program once again. Enter the first integer. I say 34 and 1, 34. Perfect. We run the program once again. And this time around, I'm going to give the wrong answer. I say the first number is TWO. It says error, input should be integer in numeric format. So it's working right. Suppose you enter the first number correct, say 4, and second number you enter as 4. It says the input should be integer in numeric format. That's okay. Viraj, why did you change that message? It could so happen user enters both the numbers as 7, 7. So you cannot say the first number is larger than second. It will mean 7 is larger than 7. Is it right? Right. So that scenario that we have to take into consideration. So instead, we're just printing whatever is the largest number. So we avoid that particular issue totally. So that seems to be a perfect solution. I don't see any scope of any more changes to it.
Sir, I might shared my code also.
Yeah, we will check everybody's code, not just yours, everybody's. Because I want to see what you have done. It's not about getting the code right or wrong. It's about understanding how it can be written. If mistakes are committed, how those mistakes can be overcome. So you should not be scared about even committing mistakes. So let's see what Shantanu has done. It's all the same. Let's look at Shantanu's code quickly. He says input says first number input, he accepts the first integer, he accepts the second integer. He says if not first integer digit or second integer digit, okay, that's something that we haven't yet discussed. but this will also work. We are here to discuss and or, but it is correct. If it is not this or it is not that, it will get an error. First is less than second. Oh, we just wanted to find out which is the largest number. The question did not ask you, what is the question saying? Check the. Shantanu, क्या कह रहा है?
The greatest integer.
Greatest integer. अगर greatest है तो आपको सिर्फ जो greatest है वही चाहिए. So don't give to the client something more than what he has asked for. He will not appreciate. He is not going to pay you for that. So this was good enough for me. The second integer is the first is lesser. Okay, second is greater than the first. That's very nice. First is greater than second. That's good enough for us. Now, here again, the issue would be the same thing. If it's equal to, it will still say 7 is greater than 7. Okay, so it is better that we change the message to what we have done over here, saying the largest number is so and so.
Okay.
Do you agree, Shantanu?
Yeah.
So don't give more than you are already working, correct?
Yes, sir.
Does the client pay you for anything extra that you deliver when he has not asked?
No, no.
Never. He'll say, "Okay, aapne diya, very good, but I did not ask for it." Okay, so just deliver what the client has asked. Don't give something more when the client has not asked. Now let's see whether this OR concept works. Since he has talked about it, he has introduced it, we'll check it out. So, and we are yet to discuss it. There is a special discussion that we'll have an and an OR. But before I discuss this concept of and an OR, let's see whether it works. So let's run this particular program. I enter the first number as 12, second number is 4, largest number is 12. Great. We run the program once again. First number is 2, second number is 12, largest number is 12. Great. So this 2 has worked. Let's run the code once again. This time I enter TW or TWO and then THREE. It says input should be an integer or numeric format. In numeric format, it should have been integer in numeric format. Okay, it's an integer, but it should be in numeric format. There is another bug that is there over here, and it was there in both the codes. So we can improve this code as well. Let's see if anybody has found out that particular bug. When we look at the code, I realize there is a small bug, very small, but there is a bug. And that too when the user use the right input. And that's something bad. Input sahi hone pe to it should at least run. Okay. Please integer in numeric format. So those who are watching, think about it. What's a small bug which is there in both this code? So here I go. Here I enter the first number as 45, second number as 4. It says largest number is 44. ये गलत हो गया? Yes or no?
and होना चाहिए.
नहीं, ये गलत तो हो गया ना? So that was one bug over here. Okay. But let's go back to this code as well. ये वाला code. ये वाला नहीं. कहाँ गया वो दूसरा? I have closed it. So let's open up the first code as well. Anyway, else is submitted, so we could check that as well.
Yes, sir.
Rahul has submitted. Let's see if Rahul has done something different. Where is he accepts the first integer and the second integer. If not, data a digit, error. Okay, that's good. Actually, error को भेज रहा है. Then he converts both and then he compares. Equal मांगा नहीं था, so I'll just leave that thing. Largest number is num1 or num2. That's good enough. Okay. Okay, that's good enough. Like this again seems to be right, but with the same bug. This will also work like what Viraj ka solution was working. Shantanu ka code had a bug. This will work, looks like, but let's still cross check by executing the program. So here we go. We'll execute this program. Largest is what it says. 5, open, and I go to desktop, and we have largest. This is the one. No?
Largest of two.
So let's run this particular code and see. Number is 12, number is 2, worked correctly. Let's run the code once again. 4 and 4. No output. Okay, that's that. Okay, so look at what corrections can be done. And that was this condition was not required, else was good enough. Else it may cheta, else copy. So let's run this particular code now. 4 and 4, it gives you largest number is 4. Great. So if I enter something which is wrong, if I say FOUR, it still asks me to enter the second number. So that shouldn't happen. 45, 4, which input should be an integer in numeric form. I say, okay, मैंने दिया input integer form. पहला ही गलत था. So change that I had made earlier, you could also do the same thing. विराज के कोड में जो हमने change किया था. This input you will accept only if the first input is correct. पहला input गलत है तो दूसरा accept ही नहीं करेंगे. You will not even accept the second input. Okay, but आपके कोड में और विराज के कोड में still there is a bug. And that bug you should have identified by now. Let's see anybody else has done it. Let's see Viraj, Harsh has solved. Yes, anybody has identified? Okay, and now he goes with else. We have discussed that's not required. This again is not required. We are only going to stick to what the client has asked for, nothing more than what the client is asking. Input 1 ले लिया, फिर input 2 ले लिया. Num underscore 1 is digit है, अगर नहीं है, this is totally wrong. ये गलत है. Let's see when I say it's wrong, is it really wrong? Let's check it out. I think it is wrong, but I may also go wrong. So let's see whether Harsh का solution गलत है क्या. First glance it looks wrong, but sometimes it may be right. Let's check. And I say run module. Watch it. I enter the first number as THRE 3. It says incorrect input format. Please input please enter the input in numeric format to proceed. ठीक है. चलो एक प्रॉब्लम पे मैंने सही हैंडल कर लिया. पहला नंबर मैंने 3 दे दिया, दूसरा मैंने TW दे दिया, correctly handled. Let's run the code once again. I enter 45 and I enter 5. कहता है second integer 5 is greater than the first integer 45. Okay, ये गलत है. हर्ष कैसे गलत है? Anybody? क्या कहा इसने? Second integer 5 is greater than first integer. Okay, let's do it once again. This is a bug which is very interesting that has now been placed. Now I take another number. I take number 88 and I take number 77. It gives the right answer. 88 is greater than second integer 77. ऐसा है क्या? और तीसरी बार रन करोगे तो गलत आंसर देगा. So next time I enter number as 115 and I take another number as 25. But that 25 is greater than 115. Anybody? Hey, that's a classic error that is there. It's an error. Anyway. Come on, it's a silly mistake. Harsh ne pehchan paya, I understand. Because one who writes the code, he also finds it difficult to understand. Third party, independent inspection, bhul gaye kya? So others should be in a position to definitely find out what is the mistake over there. Or baki log nahi find kar paaye, then that's bad. Arey, he has taken this input function returns a string. The num1 is string, num2 भी string है. String representing numbers है तो ही proceed करेंगे और compare करते समय it is comparing strings. So if you look at the result, ऐसे answer क्यों आ रहे हैं? Because here it is 115, so 1 is compared with 2, and remember 1 का code is less than 2 का code. So it says it is like comparing Anil with Anita. A-N word wise first. So first character is compared to this. So 1 is less than 2. Yeah, 8 is greater than 7. Yeah, 4 is smaller than 5. Easily 5 is greater than 45. So it's comparing the strings. So what have we done over here is string comparisons. And luckily in Python, this comparison is allowed. It's like this. It's like this. So if I say 88, string 88, 88 greater than string 77, I say quotes में क्या था true. अब देखो दूसरा. If I say string 88 greater than 117, कहता है true, because 8 is greater than 1. Okay. Now I say 88 greater than 9, will false. It is not comparing 88, it's comparing the first letter 8, character 8. Remember the code of 8? Code of 0 is 48. So 8 would be something like 55 or 56 कुछ पर रहेगा. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 count करो. So it's comparing the code of 8. Like if you just want to check, I can just say ORD of 8. Yeah, 56. And ORD of 9, 57. So it's comparing 56 with 57. And since the code point of 8 is 56 and code point for character 9 is 57, so 8 and then one little layer हमने पहला character 1 वो आपका 49 रहेगा. तो जब यहाँ compare कर रहे, so this first 8 in 88, the first 8 in 88 was compared with this first one in 177. And that was like 88 का code is 56. 56 is greater than 49. Okay, right? True hai. Here 56 is greater than 55. True hai. And here later when we went on to compare where we get false, it was like 56. Is it greater than 57? It says false. So that was a classic error that gets introduced. So good that this error come across. So you have failed to convert जो बाकी लोगों ने convert किया था. वो conversion क्या था? Since you are accepting integers, you should have converted into integers. Had you converted into integers, it would give you the right answer. समझ आ गया है? So these are the kind of bugs that gets introduced. So discussing the solutions is very, very important because everybody has their own way, and then we realize, अरे ये सही नहीं है, इस तरीके से काम करेगा. So it's always good that you write programs. Don't have fear that you have committed a mistake. कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता अगर आपने mistake हो गया है तो. Important thing is you learn from those mistakes, and you realize what kind of mistakes you can commit, and then you never repeat those mistakes. So it's always good to write the programs, and that's the only way to learn programming. So we have discussed everybody's code. Anybody remaining? Okay. Now my question still remains. The code that we got to see, that was what Viraj had submitted. It looked right, and I said it's wrong. Okay, Viraj or it's दोनों का code, the largest number is. So there is some bug in this code. So let's run this code 1 or 2 times to see is there really a bug. And PWO, it says no input should be an integer in numeric format, and what you are given is textual format. So there is a problem. Okay. So I run the code, I give 2, and next I say THRE, so both the cases have been handled. Now let's give the right input. I say 2 and 2, the largest number is 2, that's okay. That's not wrong. 45 and 5, 45 is the largest number, so it's working right. Where is the error?
पर eval function रह गया क्या?
Yes, very correct. तो ये error कहाँ है वो बताना चाहिए. If somebody enters a number, say like 15, and he enters in hexadecimal format, OXF, that's 15. कहता है error. Input should be eval ही नहीं, उसके पहले error दे रहा है. ये string ये कहता है नहीं, this is not a numeric format. That means our validation has to be improved even further. अपने validation को और भी मजबूत करना होगा हमें. The input should be in integer numeric format. Eval तो बात की बात है. It has not even taken this as a integer. Okay, so there is a lot of validation that we can do. Okay, look, because here eval will come over here. The program has failed at this stage itself, and it says while this OXF is 15. Look at this. If I say some variable a is equal to OXF, and if I print a, it's 15. If I say this is equal to FF, and if I print value of a, it says it's 225. These are hexadecimal representations. Suppose you want to say 100, I could say OX, it's a 2000, that is 70. So a का value क्या है तो 2000. Okay, so these are hexadecimal notation. So we should have an opportunity to accept hexadecimal values as well. Now what is happening is if your a is a string and you have got this as data, and if I'm going to check its digit, it is failing. So a dot is false. So it is accepting integer only in decimal format. यानी अगर आपने A में 2000 ऐसे लिखा होता, भले string हो, and then when I check, it will say correct. But if I give hexadecimal or if I give octal representation, say एक वाले 100 देते, कैसे देते 100? 0144 00144. That's octal value 100. Okay. Or I could say A is equal to 0x64. That's again 100 hexadecimal equivalent. And if I print A, that's 100. So we needed to think about an idea where I could accept this format, I could accept this format, and still it should work out right. Okay, so I'm just trying to tell you that there is scope of improvement. But there are some other techniques that we need to learn to handle these issues. Now, let me just tell you about a brief about it. There is a very advanced concept that new generation languages support, like exception handling. That means if something goes wrong, we need to have a handler which can act as a response to that erroneous situation. If something has gone wrong, I want somebody to handle that situation. And that is a topic for later discussion. So why did I talk about it? Just to make you aware, as we proceed further, our quality of code is going to go ahead improving. Now, talking about quality, how was yesterday's session? SonarQube?
Amazing, sir. Good, sir.
Now, those are the kind of features that we should all be aware of. Those are the kind of concepts that one should start thinking of. Okay, that and I'm going to make sure in our idea as well, some places will introduce or will integrate SonarQube even in our course, so that you will also get to work on it, also experiment with that. And we have to be aware of such tools which improve the quality of your code. Okay, and so when I suggest you something, please make sure that you attend. It is going to be, it will give you, what do you say, edge over others. People, when they land up into industry, then they get to see such tools, and then they wonder, अरे हमारे कॉलेज में ऐसा कुछ हुआ ही नहीं है, हमें कॉलेज से कोई मतलब नहीं है, कॉलेज में हो रहा है नहीं हो रहा है. We want to grow as a developer. Maybe you do not want to join any company. You want to start with your own company the very first day. We should be aware of what tools are existing, how we can perform those kind of checks, how it provides assurance regarding quality. All those things we should be aware of. So make sure. So let's proceed with the next set of example. And I'm not providing you the solution for the problem that I just now discussed. We'll keep it pending for a topic called as exception handling in Python. So exception, these are exceptional situations. How often it will happen that your operator is a scientist who will enter input in hexadecimal format. Otherwise, you have to change message of your statement. You say, please enter integer in decimal format. Now that could be quite tedious. And integer there है तो काफी है ना. Let them give the integer in decimal format. Let him give the integer in hexadecimal. Binary भी दिया तो भी काम करना चाहिए. I get my point. Even if somebody gives input as 100 in binary format, your program should be positioned to handle it, because he can argue with you. मैंने तो integer ही दिया है, 100 integer ही दिया है, like this. Suppose if somebody is entering an input and he says my A is equal to 0B, he says something like that, 1100100. So A का value क्या है? 100 ही है. So if A का value otherwise is 100, we want to write. जब good programmers write programs, they think about all such situations. When a novice writes a program, ये novice है, बच्चा है, या नया बंदा है, अभी Python सीख रहा है. That's this quality of code. And when an expert writes a program, he will have to think about all such situations. कि अगर hex octal में आया तो, hex में आया तो, binary में आया तो, words में आया तो. Okay, so the best would have been if you enter TWO, it should understand it is true. That could be the best quality code that you could think about writing. But that's quite a challenge. It could be more like a project for us for accepting data in that particular fashion. Anyway, but I appreciate you have written the code. It would have been much better that if all of you had written the code, because that gives us an opportunity to talk. Now, देखिए ना, अभी ये last code आ गया, and we realized कि लग रहा था कि कहीं scope नहीं है improvement का. We discussed scenarios where it can fail. So now you will be eager to understand कि अरे ये कैसे कर सकते हैं हम लोग, and then probably you will figure it out on your own only. यानी मुझे बताने की जरूरत नहीं पड़ेगी शायद, आप ही फिगर आउट कर पाओगे आगे जाके. You could explore, you could do some Google search, and you may probably explore and find out how this problem could have been solved. Okay, in the most appropriate fashion. And our objective is to write not just a code which runs, a perfect code. Okay, where all such scenarios have been taken into consideration. That's our objective. That's our objective. So today we start off with the next part of our discussion. We'll go ahead, and that is about we have seen if, else, and today what we'll do is we'll look into the nested if, yeah, multiple if, what we can have. So if there are multiple alternatives, not one single alternative, dual name, multiple alternatives. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that? It's like if I test for this condition, if this condition is true, the statements which are there at this level, and let me highlight. If the condition is true, if this statement is true, then all the statements which are at this level within this code block, those will execute and will directly jump to the constructor out of the constructor. But if this condition is false, only then it will go and check for this condition. And if this is true, then it will execute these statements and the control will come out of the constructor. But suppose first condition is false, so it goes to ELIF, that's else if. That's else if. If that condition is also false, if this condition also false, then go to else. This else is optional though. That means if none of the previous conditions are true, then else mein yahan jaake will execute this particular statement and so on. So that's nested if. So the statements in this block are associated with this condition. Statement in this block are associated with this condition. And if none of the condition is true, then these statements will get executed. So we call it as nested if. Have you understood this basic idea of nested if before we look at a solution? Yes, everybody?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now that you understood this, let's look at a problem statement. I would like to find out whether number is positive or whether number is negative or whether number is zero. कुछ भी हो सकता है ना, positive हो सकता है, negative हो सकता है, zero हो सकता है, whatever the number is. So that's what I would like to check for. So let's see. I'm not doing validation over here for a moment. We'll focus more on the construct. ज़्यादा validation नहीं कर रहा या बिल्कुल ही validation नहीं कर रहा फिलहाल. So I ask you to enter integer. User enter the integer that may come as a string. अरे आप लोग कैमरा क्यों ऑफ करके रहते हो? ये मुझे ना आपके बारे में डाउट में क्रिएट करता है. अगर आपने कैमरा ऑफ किया है इसका मतलब आप ध्यान नहीं दे रहे हैं या आप और कुछ काम में भी बिजी हो. ओके, those who have conveyed me कि आपका कोई दिक्कत है, I can understand. Others जो कैमरा ऑन नहीं कर रहे हैं, it's just a serious doubt. That means आप सीरियस नहीं हो आपके कोर्स के बारे में. You are busy with something और साइड बाय साइड आप ये कर रहे हो. I had one student last semester. वो जॉगिंग करते हैं, पार्क में जाके लेक्चर अटेंड करते हैं. तो ऐसा ना हो यार, आप जॉगिंग कर रहे हैं, पार्क कर रहे हैं, दोस्तों के साथ हो और यहाँ पीछे मैं बकबक किए जा रहा हूँ. टर्न इट ऑफ. नहीं तो here n, that's a number. We first say input, so that will prompt the user to enter the data. That number will be converted to integer, and then we check if n is greater than 0. If this condition is true, we'll print the number is positive. If this condition is false, it will go and check for this condition, line number 7. If that is true, it will execute this. If both the conditions are false, then we'll execute this statement and we come and print thank you. But we are going to debug the code. That's the best way to go about checking the code. I say start with the debugger. Look at that. The debugger has started. Now we'll run the program and we'll debug the program. Here we go. Debug. And we are debugging. It says we get into the main. We are at the first instruction. We have the input. Please enter integer. I enter integer as 45. Okay. We have entered the integer as while we are doing debugging, we should have clicked on source, ताकि हमें पता चले हम कहाँ है. सोर्स पे क्लिक करना जरूरी है. ये मैं स्टैक हटा देता हूँ. ओके, सोर्स पे क्लिक करेंगे, नहीं तो ये बताएगा आप कौन से मॉड्यूल में है. छोड़ दो, फिर सोर्स पे क्लिक करके रखो. मेक श्योर देयर इज चेकिंग. एन का वैल्यू क्या है देखो, नीचे 45 है. इज 45 greater than 0? Condition is true. So it goes inside. Now mark my word. Initially, if a condition is evaluated to true, statements associated with that condition are executed and rest all conditions are skipped. यानी 7 लाइन नंबर 7 लाइन नंबर 9 ये नीचे का सब कुछ स्किप हो जाएगा. And control will directly go to the statement after the initial. So let's see whether it happens. So ये गया अंदर, प्रिंट किया पहले और फिर बाहर आ गया. तो आउटपुट देखते हैं यहाँ क्या आ रहा है स्क्रीन पे. कहता है नंबर इज पॉजिटिव. लेट्स डू द डिबगिंग वंस अगेन. Let's do the debugging once again. I'll say run module. Once again, we have started. Watch it very carefully now. Again, let's have all the windows at one time. Since the code is small, let's have all the windows. एक समय सारे windows सामने रखते हैं. सारे windows सामने रखते हैं. That would be better. That's a better line. Very well. So we are at line number 3 right now. And what are we saying at line number 3? We are saying please enter integer. So let's say step over. We have been asked to enter integer. So I go about entering an integer. I enter integer as -7. Watch it very carefully. I've entered integer as -7. We are at line number 3 right now in the source code. When I press enter, we proceed further. We are at line number 5 in the source code. We check is -7 greater than 0. Is that true or false? देखो यहाँ n का वैल्यू -7 है, यहाँ दिखाई दे रहा है अगर आपको. Is -7 greater than 0 true or false?
False.
False है. False है तो we go to else part. Is -7 less than 0?
True.
Yes, true.
You have to be go inside. We क्या हो? We have entered -7. It has printed and the number is negative. यानी ये number is negative print कर लिया. Step over की वजह से बाहर आ गया. And then it says thank you. So it has correctly printed. Number is negative. That means statement, if this condition was true, statements associated with that condition have been executed and the controller has directly come out. So बाहर आ गया and thank you. The program is over. Now let's enter a number which is 0. Okay, let's see that what happens now. So if I want to run module once again, here we are. And we say over, we have been asked to enter number. I enter number as 0. We check is 0 greater than 0, true or false?
False.
False. Is 0 less than 0?
False.
False है. False है तो ये देखो आप लाइन नंबर 10 पे जाके यहाँ आ गया. यहाँ का उसने the number is 0 and it has come out. So either of the 3 statement gets executed. That means the first set of statements will get executed if the first condition is true. If the second condition is true, only these statements will get executed. If none of the conditions is true, then else part will get executed. So what I want you to do is take this design, quickly write it, and I'll dictate something for you. So write this general format. If test 1, statement 1, else if test 2, statement 2, else statement 3. Write this, and I'll dictate something. नीचे लास्ट और else totally optional है. लिखो एनालो पर optimize. Right on. In nested if construct. In nested if construct, this is nested if construct. In nested if construct, moment or condition evaluates to true. In nested if construct, moment or condition evaluates to true. Moment or condition evaluates to true. Moment or condition evaluates to true. The statements associated with that condition gets executed. The statements associated with that condition gets executed. The statements associated with that condition gets executed. The statements associated with that condition are executed, and the rest of the conditions are skipped. And the rest of the conditions are skipped. The rest of the conditions are skipped. Transferring the control. Transferring the control to the next statement. Transferring the control to the next statement. Transferring the control to the next statement after the nested if construct.
After the
ELIF stands for else if. देखो ELIF कोर्स में डालो ELIF stands for else if. Stands for else if.
सर वो एंड में क्या बताया आपने टू
What?
नेक्स्ट स्टेटमेंट आफ्टर द
Come again.
सर व्हाट यू सेड इन द एंड टू कंट्रोल टू नेक्स्ट स्टेटमेंट आफ्टर
नहीं कंट्रोल नहीं, कंट्रोल passes to the next statement. और क्या कहा था? कंट्रोल इज ट्रांसफर टू द नेक्स्ट स्टेटमेंट आफ्टर द नेस्टेड इफ कंस्ट्रक्ट. ऐसे कहा था ना?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
No,
sir.
control is transferred to the next statement after the nested if construct. And then I said ELIF stands for else if. ELIF stands for else if. Right? If none of the condition is satisfied, if none of the condition evaluates to true, if none of the condition evaluates to true, if none of the condition evaluates to true, none of the condition evaluates to true, then the condition evaluates to true, then the statement associated with else gets executed. Then the statements associated with else gets executed. Statements associated with else gets executed. So the use of else is optional. Use of else is optional. Use of else is optional. Okay. Now having understood this, you have to now quickly solve an assignment. और assignment क्या है? Okay, so I'll share a question with you. And मुझे चाहिए कि आप जल्दी से इसे सॉल्व करें. थोड़ा सा जीके भी चाहिए उसके लिए सॉल्व करने के लिए. And here you go. There is a statement that I put in the chat window. It says, given a SAARC country name, display its capital. And if you are given the SAARC country name, आपको उसका कैपिटल प्रिंट करना है. Okay. So given a SAARC country name, print its capital. करो शुरू. How many countries are there in SAARC?
7.
Louder.
7.
क्यों ऐसे इसलिए SAARC में 7 क्या?
नहीं सर, मैंने अभी चेक किया.
आपने चेक किया? कहाँ चेक कर रहे पता नहीं. Okay, so let's go to SAARC.
8 है.
8. Okay, so here we go. We are at the SAARC site. So we have Afghanistan, we have Bangladesh, we have Bhutan, we have India, we have Mali, we have Nepal, we have Pakistan, we have Sri Lanka. So these are the 8 SAARC countries which are there. Okay. तो ये एंटर करने पर आपको चाहिए उसका कैपिटल प्रिंट करना. ये 7 कंट्रीज है और उसके सारे कैपिटल्स है. हेल्प के लिए अफगानिस्तान का कैपिटल काबुल है, बांग्लादेश का ढाका है, भूटान का थिम्फू है, इंडिया का न्यू दिल्ली है, मालदीव का माले है, नेपाल का काठमांडू है, पाकिस्तान इस्लामाबाद, श्रीलंका का श्री जयवर्धनेपुरा कोट्टे और एक जैसे कोलंबो. So these are the capitals. So the facts are shared with you. Correct. I couldn't capture it, but this is what it is. वो भूल जाता है कोई कैपिटल तो पूछो मुझे. Let's solve. Okay, how much time you need to solve? Quick, tell me. अरे बोलो जल्दी, कितना समय लगेगा?
7 minutes.
Okay, I give you 8 minutes. आप मांग रहे 8 मिनट. Time starts now. So there are multiple submissions that are there. Let's start with the one that Ashish has submitted. So this is his score. He says, looks like he's working in the notebook. Input, enter the integer, enter SAARC country name. अफगानिस्तान है तो काबुल है, साथ है कंट्री बांग्लादेश है तो ढाका है, भूटान है तो थिम्फू है, SAARC कंट्री इज इंडिया तो न्यू दिल्ली है, मालदीव है तो माले है, नेपाल है तो काठमांडू है, पाकिस्तान है. If capital not equal to unknown.
सर उधर एक एल्स कंडीशन रह गया जिसमें कैपिटल अननोन करना, मतलब कुछ नहीं मिला तो अननोन.
तो लिख के दिखाओ, जो लिखना है लिख के दिखाओ. ओके, तो ये आशीष का हो गया. करेक्शंस करके भेजो आशीष वापस. जो करना है करना है। हर्ष का कोड देखते तब तक। इसे अगर ये स्ट्रिंग नहीं है तो इनपुट एरर दे दो। ओके दैट्स गुड एंड द नेम ऑफ द वेरिएबल इज बैड पुअर। बैड मतलब पुअर नेम दिया आपने स्ट्रिंग इट्स अ कंट्री नेम दैट यू आर एक्सपेक्टिंग करेक्ट। So we should
Yes.
have called it a country name or something like that. Replace the string to you could have just said country name. So country name is good Afghanistan. Then the capital of country name is Kabul. Otherwise, it was capital of string is Kabul. That was very wrong. Else if. Oh, why are we using else if? जब आपके पास ELIF है, ये दिया है ना, क्यों अपना टाइम ज्यादा वेस्ट कर रहे हो? Don't say else if when Python provides elif. Although else if works, but ये else if के लिए ही तो स्पेशल कंस्ट्रक्ट दिया गया है elif.
हाँ गलती से लिख दिया सर और
Okay.
लिख लिख
Actually else if भी काम करेगा, but then to represent थोड़ा सा अलग करना होगा. Okay, this seems to be right, but that does not take care of a problem that Ashish was trying to say. Okay, so let's see where it fails. Here we go. We'll open up that particular code. So I say file, open, and desktop. Start. ये नहीं. ये भी नहीं. क्या है आपके प्रोग्राम
सर
का?
22 जुलाई वाला सेकंड लास्ट का
Here. Let's run this particular code and see. I press F5. The unterminated string कहाँ है वो unterminated string? ये देखिए भूटान में एक unterminated string. Okay. Now लाइन नंबर 23 पे भी ऐसा ही है. श्रीलंका स्टार्ट तो क्या है ना, कोड डालना होगा. Let's run the code once again. I want to quit. I don't want to debug. So let's stop the debugger first. So debug. Let's say debug start heavy. Now you run the code. I press F5. It says enter the and please enter any of the SAR country names capital you'd like to view. मैंने कहा भाई इंडिया फेल हो गया. क्या कह रहा है? HTML no attribute called as e string. whether country dot e string ऐसा कोई string dot e string ऐसा कुछ नहीं है हमारे पास. ओके क्या है फिर? dot is अल्फा है, is डिजिट है, is आइडेंटिफायर है, लोअर है, कैपिटलाइज है. तो ये इस वाले तो खत्म हो गए. इज आस्की है, इज अल्फा है स्ट्रिंग की जगह. अगर आपको अल्फा चाहिए तो इस अल्फा ले लो. So we still take it as is alpha. So returns true if the string is alphabetic string, otherwise it returns false. Correct? So ये string में is alpha चाहिए. If it is not alpha, then we'll say input is wrong and so on. The program will stop. Let's do that. Yeah, the program रहेगा. Let's run the code and I give my country name as 123. With the incorrect input format, enter the input in string format to proceed. Okay, you could just say enter the SAR country name. So I enter the SAR country name as INDIA. It says capital is new. Very good. Then I run the code once again and I say my country is USA. There is no output, blank. That is where the problem is.
yes so else
करो
नहीं है तो
करेक्ट चेंजेस करके दिखाओ
Yes.
बताओ ना ओके who else has solved कौस्तुभ है also solved कौस्तुभ का is larger sum क्या नाम दिया कौस्तुभ
Members of SARC.
ऐसा क्या हो रहा है member of SARC let's see whether Koustav has done it in the right fashion file open file that's Koustav's story what is Koustav saying he says name enter the name of the country present in SARC we convert it into title very good very good that's the best thought there is one country name is Afghanistan so this is very nice addition because अगर आप if you come back to the previous code that he had written here if I want to run the program and if I say my country is India watch it if I say my country is INDIA is going to go blank because while comparing India is compared with this case only I capital India is not so Koustav is addressing this issue so this solution that Harsh has submitted will come out गलती हो गई ideally
सर मतलब पहले जो स्ट्रिंग थी उसे या तो मतलब सब लोअर या फिर सब अपर करने के
कुछ
बाद
भी करो अपर करो लोअर करो
Yes.
कुछ तो करो
Yes.
okay and he has rightly done capitalize किया है लोअर करना ठीक नहीं रहेगा he has done capitalize so he capitalized he has taken title capitalize नहीं किया इसने title ले लिया title मतलब first letter capital तो country में अगर अफगानिस्तान है तो he prints this there is no need to put space over here that's not recommended nested if में it did look nice but even the documentation will not ask you to do that okay बांग्लादेश है तो बांग्लादेश इज ढाका भूटान है तो थिम्फू है इंडिया है तो न्यू दिल्ली है मालदीव है तो माले है नेपाल है तो काठमांडू है पाकिस्तान है तो इस्लामाबाद है श्रीलंका है तो कोलंबो है एंटर कंट्री इज नॉट अ सार्क कंट्री नेम तो ये दोनों का कॉम्बिनेशन हो गया कैसे जो हर्ष ने किया वो कौस्तुभ नहीं कर रहा है जो कौस्तुभ ने किया वो हर्ष नहीं कर रहा है हर्ष टेल मी व्हाट इज दैट यू डिड कौस्तुभ हैज नॉट डन so he enters suppose India as INDIA still going to correctly give an country name as India हर्ष आप बताइए कहाँ फेल हो गए अभी
सर वैलिडेशन
कौन सा वैलिडेशन बाकी है
वो स्ट्रिंग वाला
कुछ नहीं होगा
सर किया वो अपडेट
let's see if he enters 123 बोलेगा entered name of the country is not in SARC अरे तो 123 नाम का SARC हो ही नहीं सकता है ना वो तो डिजिट
सर वो किया है अपडेट
कहाँ है
वो नया कोड दिया है सर
नया कोड ओके but that was one
सेम है
correction
फाइल है
okay there was one correction that could have been brought about anybody else has submitted okay Piyusha also submitted let's see what has Piyusha done that's her code this is enter the SARC country is Afghanistan print Kabul is Bangladesh print Dhaka okay so Piyusha now after all the discussion that we had you must have by now realized और changes क्या जरूरी है okay so let's still see that her code जो solve करेंगे मैं हर एक का code देखूंगा Piyusha कौन सा है आपका code
Sir, SARC country. नाही दिसत आहे याच्यात. हाँ, this one. Yeah.
अच्छा जी text file है ये text file पाठवून Python पाठवायची So like what Kaustuv had done, there was just no need to put these spaces. This is okay, but then same thing. अगर मैंने अपर केस अफगानिस्तान देखा तो नेपाल कैपिटल लेटर में दे दिया तो दिस विल रन इन आइडियल केस जैसे मैंने NEPAL लिखा तो एक कटमोटी में होता है. But at the same time, if I enter Nepal as NEPAL, बोलेगा I think ये मुश्किल है. प्लस अगर मैंने यहाँ लिखा रशिया तो बोला मैं चुप ही बैठना बताऊंगा नहीं कुछ. So these are corrections that needs to be done. Okay, who else has
Yes, sir.
submitted the corrected code? Shantanu has also submitted. Let's Shantanu ka 5 has SARC underscore country. That's PY5. Let's open up this file. This is SARC country list: Afghanistan, Bangladesh, Bhutan, India, Maldives, Nepal, Sri Lanka. Okay, SARC country capital so and so. Enter the SARC country name in uppercase. Country name in SARC country list. Very good. If country name equal to SARC of list of 0, then capital of the country is SARC of list of 0. यानी अगर अफगानिस्तान है तो काबुल है, बांग्लादेश है तो ढाका है. Okay, a completely different thought that has been put across. So let's see whether it works. File open. See, everybody has their own way to think, right? So it's always good to have different solutions. But this is scary. बहुत लिखा है code. But सही है तो अच्छी बात है. So let's run the code. This country is, I say, India is New Delhi. Very good. The case का problem has taken care. I say USA. USA is not a SARC country. Very good. The only problem probably could be if I say 123, it says 112 is not a SARC country. That's also okay kind of stuff. But then you hardly have a country in which there is a digit or a special character. It has to be alphabets only. So a completely different thought that he has brought about. If the name is not in the list, he says country is not a SARC country. That means inside if he has this nested if. So that's another way to think about it. So that's very much possible. Good work, but there is too much of code that has been written, but that's another way to solve it. So I'll comment on it whether this is the best one to go about, but look at it. He has used 2 lists. Afghanistan दिया तो काबुल है, बांग्लादेश दिया तो ढाका है. That's what he has done. Okay, good work. Anybody else who has solved? उसको परेशान किया क्या आपने?
हाँ सर उतना बस इफ नॉट का.
Sir, I have also said.
This line number 27 is what you have added. Also,
नहीं सर सिर्फ वो मतलब इनपुट का ये किया है सर वैलिडेशन.
ये. If not, country
Yes.
name dot is alpha. So error input should be in string format. Okay, that's good. And sys and country name and title area. Good. So this is amongst another good program that we have. So देखो Shantanu, what you had done is also right, but there is less code over here, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
Shantanu, कोड कम होना चाहिए ना, क्योंकि ज्यादा कोड है तो ज्यादा दिक्कत है, ज्यादा टेस्टिंग करना होगा. आपका वो ऑर्डर कहीं गलत हो गया तो दो
Right.
लिस्ट है ना. If the order goes wrong, that would be difficult. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, so although that was a different approach, and do we have any more examples? Sanjay has also submitted the code. संजय का कोड देख लेते हैं. विशेष कंट्री कैपिटल अगर अफगानिस्तान है, बांग्लादेश है, भूटान है, अरे ये तो पीयूषा के जैसे हो गया। अफगानिस्तान में अपर केस में डाल दूं तो इट विल से कंट्री नॉट फाउंड इन सार्क। अफगानिस्तान आपका टाइटल केस में ए कैपिटल है और मैं पूरा कैपिटल में दे दूं, नन ऑफ द कंडीशन बी ट्रू बिकॉज कंपैरिजंस आर केस सेंसिटिव। ओके, सो दैट वाज अ प्रॉब्लम। प्लस वैलिडेशन नहीं है, इफ द इनपुट इज नॉट कंट्री नेम, इट्स स्ट्रिंग और इंटीजर नहीं हो तो वो एक इश्यू है। Let's see what improvement Harsh has done. He has also added the validation over here, or he already had added, he converts into, अरे ये validation के बाद करो ना, ये पहले क्यों कर रहे हैं? अगर अल्फा नहीं है, स्ट्रिंग नहीं है तो क्यों चाहिए? Change the order. I hope you can see. And variable name,
Yes.
okay, क्या कहता है? String is good अफगानिस्तान तो सात कंट्री है, कैपिटल काबुल है, तो बांग्लादेश है, तो डाटा है, भूटान है, तो अरे वापिस एलसिप लिखा आपने, क्या कर रहे हैं आप? आपको बहुत पसंद है क्या एलसिप?
सॉरी सर।
ओके, आपको ज्यादा टाइपिंग करना है तो मुझे बताइए, मैं आपको टाइपिंग का काम दे देता हूँ।
नहीं सर।
विराज अभी भी आपने वैलिडेशन नहीं किया,
हाँ सर, वो पेंडिंग है।
ऐसे कैसे चलेगा? और कौन था जिसने सबमिट किया था? आशीष, आप वैलिडेशन चेंजेस करने वाले थे, कहाँ गया चेंज?
हाँ सर कर रहा हूँ। वो पहले तो सर वो ट्रैवर्स का कंडीशन चेंज किया।
इतनी देर कोई चेंजेस करता है क्या? ओके, now listen. I shared the code that Kaustubh had submitted. That was better, but others were also right. तो Kaustubh ने बाकी जो कोड देखे उसमें से better quality code is what he has written. But that just goes on to show, okay, that there is so much of scope for improvement when you write programs. Okay, we are still not getting the code right the very first time. And that does not happen for a very long time in our life. So don't worry about it. Okay. So I'm just sharing the code. Also, what was the file name?
Sir, members of SARC1.
Have all of you received this particular file, members of SARC1? एक मिनट, Vikrant, have you submitted? Vikrant, have you submitted?
No, sir.
I don't see your file. Okay. Now listen to me very carefully. All of you have solved this particular example. All of you have solved this example. The example that you have solved is correct. Listen, it's correct. But that shows you haven't practiced the topics that we have discussed so far. Because what you have done, you have solved it right, but it's not the Pythonic way of solving the problem. If I am a student of Python, then the way you have gone ahead solving this particular example is not acceptable. Now, when I say it's not acceptable, what's so wrong in this particular code that you have solved? The wrong thing is it's not Pythonic way to solve. Now, what do you mean by Pythonic way to solve? The very reason why Python has become so very popular today in the market is because you have to write less code. And all of you are looks like desiring to become typist than the programmer. Because you love writing long codes. Okay, and that's something which is not expected. So what could have been done to solve this particular example in a better way? Okay. What we had learned with that idea you had applied, this was the concept. ये किसका code था? This was who had submitted this code? Chandanu?
Yes, yes.
Okay. तो ये idea पे code लिखना जरूरी था. Although his choice was not right, but that was the basic idea. Kaustubh wrote a code which is correct. It's correct. 28 lines का code लिख रहा है. It's correct. Will work under all the situations. But then this is like a C programmer or some other language. And that too language of 60s and 70s. Not the today's generation language like Python. So अगर Python programmer है, so you would write the code in this fashion. खत्म. 13 लाइन में खत्म करो. 13 भी नहीं actually 12 लाइन में code खत्म. I just brought it to the next one. I would use a dictionary. I would
I
create
was
dictionary.
thinking of this.
थिंकिंग तो वही कह रहा मैंने आपने. ये जो लिस्ट है,
लिस्ट
लिस्ट की जहाँ की वैल्यू कॉम्बिनेशन आएगा, ये आपने गिवन की आई नीड टू हैव वैल्यू, वही तो कर रहे हैं आप, फेचिंग कर रहे हैं ना. तो जब ऐसी बात करोगे तो यू शुड ऑलवेज गो इन फॉर अ डिक्शनरी. तो वी हैव इंडिया न्यू दिल्ली, पाकिस्तान इस्लामाबाद, श्रीलंका श्री जयोधन कुट्टे, बांग्लादेश ढाका एंड सो ऑन, सब कुछ है. We'll ask user to enter the country name. Whatever string user gives will convert into an uppercase. So we'll have the country name in uppercase and then just say capital dot get country name. That's it. If that country was India, it will say it is India ka capital is New Delhi. And get method doesn't generate an error if the key is not found. Remember the dictionary concept, get method. If India is not found, it'll say not since it is not in the SAP country. So let's run this particular code and see the result. I have been asked to enter the country name and I enter INDIA title case. It says capital of India is New Delhi. Good, it run. I run the code once again. I have been asked to enter the country name and I enter the country name as INDIA. Very weird way. Still it says capital of country is India, New Delhi. Why? How is it working right? Because whatever string is there, I'm going to convert this string to uppercase. So country names are in uppercase. Okay. And that too I have gone these many lines. I could have put these pairs just one next to another. So it would appear like 5 lines code only. So currently I'm just making sure that this dictionary that I have created has the country names written one below other. But if I really wanted, I close the opening. कुछ ज्यादा ही ओपन है विंडोज. I could do it this way as well. Let's run the code and see. Country name, I say, city is Kathmandu. But what about if I give a country which is not present? I say USA. If the capital of USA is not known since it is not in SAC, matter close. Okay, what about validation जो करना था हमें वो एक देख लेते. If I say 123, this is capital of city of 123 is not known since it is not in SAC. That additional validation we could have done. The point is use of dictionary to get the work done. So such problem demand that you need to go in for a dictionary because given a key, you would like to have the value. If that is the situation, given a key, you would like to have value, always think about dictionary concept. So this is Pythonic way to write a program. And you as my student, I want you to make use of the concept that Python is providing. So we have learned concept of dictionary. So your dictionary has replaced your nested if construct. So that's one more solution that I'm submitting or sharing with you. I hope you understood what improvement can be brought about.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Python Python पढ़े हम ना, तो data types क्यों पढ़े इतने सारे? Why did we spend time learning all the data types? Because जहाँ जरूरत है वहाँ use करना है. I appreciate Shantanu because he started using list, but list की जगह data structure map dictionary was more appropriate. In Python, it is not a challenge to use any data type. All these data structures, all the data structures are readily available, implemented. Challenge over here is to select the right data structure at right place. Shantanu went ahead using a data structure, but that was correct, but not the appropriate one. तो करेक्ट नहीं, सही जगह पे सही डेटा स्ट्रक्चर यूज करना, ये आपके लिए आज के जमाने में चैलेंज है. ओके, तो यू एज अ प्रोग्रामर don't forget all the data structures that you have learned and make use of the right data structure at right place. तो यहाँ जहाँ की वैल्यू है, think about dictionary. So understood everybody? क्या corrections किया हमने, क्यों किए?
Yes, sir.
Sir, dictionaries are
Sir.
only in Python.
Dictionary का क्या कहा आपने?
Only in Python.
No, ऑलमोस्ट सारे लैंग्वेजेस में मिलेंगे आपको. नए जमाने के सारे लैंग्वेज नाम अलग आ सकता है, लाइक इन जावा इट में से मैप because it maps.
So sir, it can be alternate for nested if.
Pardon?
It can be alternative for nested if everywhere.
No. You cannot make that statement. It's an alternative for nested if. That kind of statement cannot be made.
सर हैश टेबल बोलते हैं क्या बाकी में?
Pardon?
डिक्शनरी सिमिलर है ना हैश टेबल के?
No. Dictionary is not similar to hash table. Dictionary internally uses concept of hash table for its implementation. So you cannot say dictionary is similar to hash table because dictionary is based on concept of hash table. It internally uses hash table as its data structure. Is that okay?
यस सर.
हमने हैश टेबल हैशिंग के बारे में बात की थी डेटा स्ट्रक्चर डिस्कस करते समय मैप के समय. मैंने कहा था हैश टेबल क्या है, वो भी तो समझाया था डिक्शनरी के समय. Now one more assignment for all of you. Okay, so think more correctly and then solve. So there was one learning that we had now. Now let's look at one more for all of you. आसान चाहिए या थोड़ा सा मुश्किल चाहिए? ये बोलो कुछ तो.
Logical though, sir.
ओके, थोड़ा सा एक देता हूँ. यू कैन टेक इट एज एन असाइनमेंट. ये घर में सॉल्व करो, यहाँ मत सॉल्व करो. यहाँ सॉल्व करने के लिए आसान क्वेश्चंस, बिकॉज वो तो पहले सही आ जाए और घर में आपके पास फुर्सत है, टाइम है, तो उसके लिए अलग सा प्रॉब्लम. आपको एक असाइनमेंट देता हूँ जो घर में आप सॉल्व करें और यहाँ सॉल्व करने के लिए अलग क्वेश्चन देते हैं. तो लेट्स टेक वन मोर. Copies, use the right data structure at right place wherever required. I'm sharing one more assignment with you all. I got it. नहीं मिला है तो यहाँ देखो.
Yes, sir.
चलो सॉल्व कीजिए. It says calculate and print the student's grade according to the following table. Weighted final score है और final grade है. तो आपका weighted final score अगर marks are greater than less than or equal to 80 and less than 100, less than or equal to 100, grade is A. Marks are greater than or equal to 70 and less than 80, तो mark grade is B. And according और less than 50 रहेगा तो grade is E. फिर आपका given aspect है, चलो इसे solve करके दिखाइए. How much time would we need? टाइम बोलो कितना समय लगेगा, गेस करो.
सर 10 मिनट.
10 मिनट. चलो 10 मिनट. और 10 में होना चाहिए एवरीबॉडी.
So can you share that file? Question, sir.
शेयर है नहीं हुआ ये प्रॉब्लम
Yes, 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 yes. Yeah. Yes.
So finish up right now is the first one to submit. Let's have a look at the solution. So what does it do? She says, please enter the please enter the grade of the student. No. Message wrong. Pusha grade थोड़ी enter कर रहे हैं. Grade तो आप find कर रहे हैं. Please enter.
हो सर ते चुकलं मार्क्स ऑफ स्टुडंट यायला पाहिजे होता.
मार्क नाही काहीतरी एक शब्द दिला मी त्या क्वेश्चन मध्ये वाचा. काय लिहितो? Weighted final score. Correct? वही लिखना चाहिए. Please enter
Yeah,
the
right.
weighted
Okay.
final score of the student.
Okay.
If 80 less than equal to grade of student and a grade student is greater than equal to 80 and less than 100, you have A grade. 70 say 80 है तो B grade. This looks right, but there are issues. पहले देखते हैं ये सही क्यों है. Let's run the code. And as we go ahead, let's see if anybody can improve on this. So it looks like she has given us as a text file. Let's save it as Python file. Oh. Let's run this program. File run. Enter the grade. I say 106. We are 160. No output. That's one issue. Okay. तो एक इशू पता चला. 100 से ज्यादा आएंगे तो कुछ नहीं. तो बताओ कुछ ना गलत है सही है कुछ तो बता. Let's do one thing. One thing. If I enter 7, कहता है grade you have an E grade. So the E course में आ जाता तो that would have been better. So that's one correction that could be done. Okay. ये सारे कोर्स में चाहिए थी. ये A B ग्रेड है ना तो कोर्स में चाहिए. And if somebody enters greater than 100, you should have said something. Okay. Anybody else who has solved it? कोई नहीं है सबमिट करने वाला. That's
Sir,
why.
I did, but I think it's wrong.
पढ़ा?
Sir, I did, but I think it's wrong. I'll share. Sir, I tried the dictionary type.
Others? क्या हुआ? सो रहे हैं क्या सब लोग?
Sir, 1 minute.
I want everybody to share. कोई choice नहीं होना चाहिए actually. हाँ इतना तो देर थोड़ी मिल जाएगी.
Sir, I have shared my file.
Let's see. I shall submit it. We all were not aware, means ध्यान नहीं गया. My laptop was completely drained. The good part is like it has restored and started from where we left. Okay, so let's continue. So what were we saying? इसका solution check करें हम लोग.
मेरा सर
Yeah, first solution. This was the solution.
screen is not visible.
क्या बात कर रहे हैं? I already share this thing.
विजिबल
Yes, sir. Sir.
Yeah. So int of total marks, okay. Grade is equal to यार dictionary लिया है 80 100. क्या बात है? अरे ऐसा तो मैंने जिंदगी में नहीं सोचा. Let's see. Couple as a key. 180. ये गलत हो गया. अगर मैं 80 दूं तो
सर काउंट होगा नहीं.
80
और
to 100
lower-
100 to 80. ये मुश्किल हो रहा है ना.
ओके सर. यस सर.
50 to 60 and 0 to 50. तो 50 वाला कहा जाए E या D.
सर डी सर, क्योंकि सर वो 0 to 49 ही कंसिडर होगा.
बट लॉजिकली 0 to 50 भी कह रहा है. तो 0 to 50 वाला कहा जाए D या E लॉजिकली. दोनों रेंज
D.
बता रहे हैं आप. And look at this. 80 is in A and B both. 70 is in B and C. Logically 60 is in C and D. 50 is in D and E.
बट सर अपर लिमिट मतलब ये इंक्लूसिव नहीं होता.
Yeah, it will work. I know, I understand. But ये
Yes.
देखते समय कोड गलत है ना. 50 is in both the ranges.
हाँ सर. यस सर.
तो इसमें changes करो. But this is a completely different thought. This did not strike me. ऐसा मेरे दिमाग में भी नहीं आया था.
ओके.
Okay, so that's
सर मैंने भी वैसे ट्राई किया था.
किया है तो दिखाओ.
सर सेंड किया. फाइंड ग्रेड करके.
Lower one mark whether equal to up or down. Grade obtained is equal to grade. ये grade कहाँ से मिलेगा? नहीं मिलेगा. Grade obtained is equal to grade. I don't think this will work. Line number 19 काम कर रहा है हर्ष? Line number 19
यस
will not work.
सर. सर
आप lower bound और upper bound कह रहे हैं. That's logically we know, you and me know there is lower bound and upper bound. But if there is a tuple, how you
ऐसे
know?
समझ में नहीं आता इसमें कैसे वो.
हाँ नहीं, line number 19 नहीं काम करेगा. ये logically ठीक है, programmatically नहीं काम करेगा. This will not work. Because lower bound and greater than mark is less than equal to lower bound and greater than equal to upper bound. No, this will not work. It's line number 19 onwards, it will not work. So those are done similar way, it's not the right way to go about it. तो काम ही नहीं करेगा. Anybody else who has submitted the solution, please submit again because since my Zoom started again, I don't have any previous chat. आप पूछो हर्ष का कैसे है? I had already downloaded it. So others please resubmit if you have made so changes. पीयूष का कोड तो हमने देखा था.
सर वो ऑप्शन नहीं आ रहा है सेंड करने का.
क्या?
सेंड करने का ऑप्शन नहीं आ रहा है.
चैट विंडो में डालो ना.
सर वहीं पे.
Yes, nobody can send.
हो सर नाही दिसत ऑप्शन.
तो म्हणतो आता बस करा लेक्चर.
दिख रहा है सर.
दिख रहा है ना. तो
हाँ सर.
ऐसे चैट में आई कैन सी. Okay, anyway, Piyusha का जो कोड था, I have made one small change to that code. So let's see what change have I made. Let me just show you Piyusha's code and the change that I have made to that particular code. Just representation I have improved. I'm saying open, and this was the code that Piyusha had submitted. तो मैंने क्या किया है? अरे ये कहाँ गया? ये नहीं चाहिए था मुझे. मैंने चेंजेस किए थे इसमें. What change I made? I just said final grade is A in quotes, B in quotes, C in quotes, D in quotes, E in quotes. ऐसा चेंज किया मैंने. ये क्यों नहीं दिखाई दे रहा है यहाँ? Okay. So what Piyusha had done, I just done in different way. So I entered the weighted final score of the student. Student का 56 है. क्या गलत हुआ है? अच्छा, marks not defined. तो ये marks चाहिए था मुझे. Marks. Then I'll run the code once again. Very well. Please enter weighted final score of the students. मैंने कहा 45. कहता है grade is E. Note कीजिए E course में आया है. And how did I do that? To get that thing done, मैंने क्या किया यहाँ quotes में डाला है. कैसे? I put the outer string in double quotes और inner E के लिए single quotes में डाला है. So that's a small improvement that I have done over what Piyusha had. छोटा सा improvement है. But I still expect more improvement in this code because this is not the right way to go about. ये सही तरीका नहीं है. सही solution है क्या है? सही तरीका जरूर नहीं है. And by now you should have figured out why am I not accepting this as my final solution. Here I go. Have you received this solution that I have given you?
Yes, sir.
And there is one assignment also I am submitting. दो चीजें. अब ये solution है और ये assignment है. Your task is to improve the code that Piyusha has submitted and to solve the next assignment as well. The next assignment is simple. But you have to give time to understand it. It says calculate the cost of sending a mail small parcel. The post office charges 50 rupees for the first 300 grams and rupees 20 for every 100 grams thereafter up to maximum weight of 1000. क्या कहता है? Up to 1000 यानी 1 kg के ऊपर नहीं भेज पाएंगे. स्मॉल पार्सल है तो 1 kg के ऊपर नहीं चलेगा. हर एक 100 ग्राम के लिए ₹20 is what you're going to charge beyond 300 grams. So that's the question for you. So take time. All of you should solve it. जितना हो सके दिखाना है मुझे आपने. And the only way we are going to become expert in programming is by solving problems. So take time out. It shouldn't take more than 10-15 minutes for you to solve that problem. पहले algorithm लिखो and then try and write a Python program to fulfill the requirement. So that's your assignment. Whatever assignment problems that we solved today, the final solutions that I shared with you, I want somebody amongst you to post them on the group and also the assignment. And with that note, we'll stop over here today. See you tomorrow at same time. Take care. Love you all. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.